This is Africa, the second largest continent in the world, a land immensely rich in natural resources. In fact, about 30% of the world's total natural resources are found in Africa. These include gold, diamonds, uranium, platinum, hydro, and solar energy, oil, and natural gas reserves. Beyond minerals and energy, Africa also has some of the most fertile land in the world, making it highly suitable for agriculture. Yet despite this abundance, Africa remains the poorest continent on Earth. Around 40% of Africa's population lives below the poverty line. This raises an important question. How can a continent so rich in resources be so impoverished? Why is Africa often associated with poverty, hunger, corruption, and political instability, rather than prosperity? Most people tend to blame this on two major factors: Western countries exploiting Africa for their own gain, widespread internal corruption among African leaders. While these are definitely part of the truth, they're not the whole story. There are deeper historical, political, and geographical factors that have played a major role in pushing Africa into its current state. The colonial legacy. There's no doubt that Western imperialism played a huge role. For over a century, much of Africa was under the control of the British and French empires, which ruthlessly extracted natural resources from the continent. During the 19th century, millions of physically strong Africans were enslaved and shipped to European colonies. Colonial powers not only exploited African labor and resources, but they also divided the land and redrew borders without regard for language, culture, or religion. Thousands of Africans were enslaved or killed in the quest for diamonds and gold. Hollywood even made a film highlighting this brutal exploitation called Blood Diamond, a must-watch to understand the depth of the issue. Similarly, multinational corporations like Shell in Nigeria and Cargill, one of the world's largest food suppliers, have been accused of severe human rights violations, including child labor in cocoa plantations. So yes, Western powers have significantly contributed to Africa's suffering. But if that alone were the reason, then why have other colonized countries like India, Singapore, or Malaysia recovered and grown? The answer lies partly in Africa's difficult geography. Geographical disadvantages. Geography plays a major role in economic development. Coastlines are crucial for trade, and 80% of global trade happens by sea. On the map, Africa seems to have a vast coastline, surrounded by oceans on almost every side. But most of Africa's coastline is rugged and not suitable for deep sea ports. Only a small portion of the continent has coastlines that support global trade. By contrast, Europe has a smaller landmass but more usable coastline, which is why it controls about 40% of global sea trade. Another issue is Africa's rivers. Except for the Nile, most African rivers are not deep or wide enough for large cargo ships. This severely limits inland trade and transportation. Piracy and trade insecurity. Another major barrier to African development has been piracy. The Horn of Africa, particularly near Somalia, is one of the most dangerous zones for global shipping. Somali pirates frequently attack oil tankers and cargo ships in this region. As a result, several powerful countries have established military bases in Djibouti to safeguard trade routes. However, most of East Africa lacks such protection, allowing piracy to flourish. Similarly, West Africa is also notorious for maritime piracy. In October 2013, pirates off the coast of Nigeria hijacked an oil tanker, kidnapped its American crew, stole the oil, and released them only after their demands were met. Such incidents occur frequently, leading many nations to avoid African shipping routes, which drastically reduces trade opportunities for African countries. The Sahara Barrier and religious divide. Africa's northern region is largely covered by deserts, especially the Sahara, the world's largest hot desert. This area is predominantly Muslim, while the southern regions are lush, fertile, and largely Christian. This religious and geographical divide has created a persistent north-south tension. This division is further worsened by artificial borders created by colonial powers. In the 19th century, the British and French empires drew borders across Africa and the Middle East, without considering ethnicity, language, or religion, causing long-lasting internal conflicts. These poorly drawn borders are one reason why Africa has experienced civil wars for the past 60 years. A ray of hope. Botswana. Despite all these challenges, One African country is rewriting its destiny. Botswana. Once a British colony like many others, Botswana gained independence in 1967. Today, while most of Africa struggles with poverty, Botswana's per capita income is on par with countries like Mexico and Costa Rica. How did Botswana achieve this? We will cover that in detail in an upcoming video. Conclusion: Africans must understand that no one from outside will come to fix their problems. They must take charge of their own future. Recently, countries like China and Russia have started investing heavily in Africa, leading to some promising developments. Africa is becoming increasingly important in global geopolitics, and we'll discuss that in another video soon. These are the sources we consulted for this video. If you found this video informative, please like and share it with others. See you in the next video.